Hello everyone and welcome to Tune Talk, where the talk is always in tune. I'm Howard Raines.
And I'm Tricia Spencer. Welcome to this month's Tune Talk. We're going to be giving a little bit of time to the tune called Thehos Gendar, or Gendar. I'm not really sure which one it is.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the modern parlance, Gendar refers to the ability to distinguish between genders when that may not be readily apparent. It's sort of like gaydar, but refers to gender rather than sexuality.
Are you sure this is a real thing? Sounds like this is something you made up.
No, it's in the Urban Dictionary. It's as good as Webster's.
Is it? All right, Gendar. We're not really sure how this one is pronounced. It's spelled kind of Gendar, but we think they might have something in common, so we might circle back to that later in our talk.
Well, and everyone knows that gender was really just a scam invented by bathroom companies in the 1960s to sell more bathrooms. Boom, boom.
I think it's kind of interesting. I love when we talk about these tunes and in many cases they've been gifted to us, and sometimes we're sitting in a session with someone and they happen to know that we like little crazy dorky tunes, you more so than me.
Thehos Gendar is a very old tune that comes from a manuscript written down in 1777 by a 17-year-old lad named Giles Gibbs. He collected 59 tunes during the summer of that year, and although there are a wide variety of tunes included, most of them are military or martial music. Giles Gibbs was born on May 25th, 1760 in the Ellington parish of Windsor, Connecticut. In the spring of 1777, a militia was mustered in Ellington, and he and his brother Levi heeded the call. Although there is no specific evidence that Gibbs played the fife, certainly music was a part of their daily drills. It was during the summer of that year, during training and drilling, that Gibbs collected his tunes, both from fife books like the Complete Fife Tutor and from local musicians likely playing in the militia. Just a few years later, in October of 1780, Gibbs was assisting family members homesteading in Royalton, Vermont. Under the command of British Army Lieutenant Richard Houghton, some 350 Mohawk warriors raided the town. Many prisoners were taken, and Lieutenant Houghton planned to march them back to Canada in exchange for ransom. However, possibly simply due to haste, all of the prisoners were executed en route, young Gibbs among them. By this time, his compendium of tunes was already safely in the hands of his older sister Abigail, whereupon they landed in the Connecticut Historical Society some generations later in 1864. Among the tunes he collected is the tune mysteriously titled Thehos Gendar.
Maybe we should give a listen to the tune.
How long have you loved the tune Yankee Doodle?
I'm actually not really sure. Isn't it kind of just one of those things that you're born and somehow Yankee Doodle's in your head?
Yeah, I think it's genetically encoded into the American DNA. Yankee Doodle is one of the most well-known tunes in American history, with the melody dating back at least to the 1750s. Tradition says that the lyrics were penned by a British doctor named Richard Shuckburgh in 1755 in an effort to mock the Americans. However, curiously, Gibbs' rendering of the tune Thehos Gendar is actually the first written record of the melody.
I have to admit, now that we've learned this tune, I definitely like this tune a lot. Yankee Doodle's kind of... I know we mentioned this while we're talking about it, but that what a Yankee Doodle actually was.
The word Yankee is believed to come from the diminutive form of the Dutch name Jan. A doodle is essentially a hillbilly, and a dandy is someone who dresses in high fashion. The commonly known lyric, "stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni," refers to the macaroni style of the period. A macaroni was a hipster of the day. Young men who went on the grand tour of Europe returned to England with a taste for pasta and an extravagant style that was neither masculine nor feminine. For the bumbling American to stick a feather in his cap and call it macaroni was, as the title suggests, a Yankee who was in fact a doodle attempting to be a dandy.
And in talking about Gendar and Gendar, whichever one we want to choose here, I kind of like thinking about how this tune to me represents someone actually being able to dress, talk, walk exactly how they want to, with no thinking about it. Like, I like that.
It's that rugged individualism.
With a macaroni in his hat. And maybe it's not his hat, maybe it's their hat. What do you think came first, the traditional Yankee Doodle, or this?
I don't really know the answer. How young Gibbs came upon this melody is as unknown as the origins of the tune Yankee Doodle itself. And as with all tunes, we leave you with more questions than we have answers. But that's the way the tune turns here on Toon Talk. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you tune in again next time for Toon Talk, where the talk is always in tune, and the tune is always in the talk. Before we go, I want to take a moment to talk about where a good deal of our information on the subject came from. Kate Van Winklekeller, also known as Kitty, was executive director of the Sonic Society for American Music and the author of several books. She was a musician, dancer, author, musicologist, and historian. Without her research, this video wouldn't have been possible. Thanks, Kitty.
Stay in tune.